welcome to this video on making a histogram. I just talked in my previous video about how a stem and leaf plot could be easily turned into a histogram. So, but now I'm just going to make a histogram for you here. And a histogram looks kind of like a bar graph. And the only really difference between a bar graph and histogram is bar graphs are typically categorical data. So usually one of the axes, whether it's the x-axis or y-axis, one of those things is like an item, like maybe you say, what's your favorite color? And on the x-axis might be red, blue, green, orange, or what kind of pet do you have? And it could be like the name of a pet or the kind of pet. So on a bar graph, typically, it's usually categorical data. A histogram is going to be numerical data. And the other thing that makes a histogram is that it would have a range. So on the axes will be a range. So everything within that bar will fit within a range of answers. So in this case, it looks like the range is about 5 years. They're using a 5-year range, like ages 21 through 25, ages 26 through 30. And so those will be the ranges. And then on the y-axis is going to be like the tallies. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this data about people attending a carnival and their ages, and I'm going to use the data here and just create a tally chart. So how many numbers fit within the range of 6 to 10. So 6, 9, that's it. And then 11 to 15, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From between 16 and 20. I'm going to keep going and fill in my tally chart. You can pause the video now and fill in yours. Okay, so I have filled in the tallies, and then the frequency is the number of tallies, really. Okay, so I put a scale on the y-axis, and my scale went up by 1 because there's not that much data here. There's only 12 pieces of data. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to create a bar based on, the frequency. So since there are 2, I'm just going to make the bar kind of go up to 2, and I'm going to draw that one. And then between 11 and 15 it goes up to 5. So I'm going to make a bar up to 5. And I'm going to like color in every other bar. And then 16 it goes to 2 again. In a histogram, the bars touch because since it's a range of data. And then I'm going to color in every other one. And then from 26 to 30 is only 1. And there you go. There's my histogram. So you can see in the data, the shape of the data, it looks like there's just a data cluster between 11 and 15. And then the rest of the data is pretty flat. So there's like a peak and then a flatness. The data would be skewed to the right because the lower, it kind of spills out to the right, and that's the way I would describe the data. So that's how histograms work. You can also read a histogram, like about Mrs. Goya's science class, and I can see this has already been created for me. I see there's a gap in this data that if you look right here, there's a gap in the data, so the data is divided there so that there's some data at the left of 81, and then there's other higher scores there, a cluster of data to the right of that. And I can also answer questions like how many students took the test. Well, I can add the numbers here. So 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus, this would be in between 6 and 8, so 7 and plus 2. And I could add those numbers together and get 27. So that was pretty simple. How many more students had scores that were 80 or lower than had those that were 90 and higher? Okay, so the 80 and lower, we talked about gap. So I can say, well, there's like 10 students that are 80 or lower. And over here there are only 9 that are greater than 90. So this 86 and 90 bar, I can't use that one. So since there's only one student that had one more student. And then the last question is, how many students scored an 83 on the test? Well, 83 would be within this range, and there's no bar there, so none of the students must have scored an 83. So here we've created a histogram, and we analyzed it a bit. So thanks for watching.